Okay, in this video I'll be going over how to program LEDs for a NAS32 and how to set up a drone fishing release mechanism. Starting with the LEDs, connect your programmable LEDs, e.g. the WS2812B LEDs, to the NAS32 by connecting the 5V pin of the LED strip to a 5V pin on the NAS, the ground pin on the LED strip to a ground pin on the NAS, and the signal pin, i.e. DIN, on the LED strip to pin 5 of the NAS. Now I personally like to use the power and ground from the motor 6 pins, but this is just up to preference. Next, make sure you have the LEDs feature selected in the Betaflight configuration tab, which should show a new tab called LEDs. Here you set your wiring first, and then you choose your options. For instance, here I have two sets of 10 LEDs, one for the left side and one for the right. So we'll label them 0 to 9 going up on the left side and 10 to 19 going down on the right side. Next, you can click an option under function such as color and then pick the color you want for the LED. Now if you click save, the LEDs should change color. You can also change the modifier, blink, and overlay toggles to indicate when the LED should activate. There are also other functions which can help to indicate various states of the drone. However, once you get the colors function working, the other options should be quite easy to pick up just by playing around with them, so I won't go into any further detail. Just note that using LEDs will drain your batteries much quicker, so while it's cool to get them working, if you don't fly at night, you probably don't need them. Now for the drone fishing setup. The first thing you'll want is an SG90 servo motor and some sort of release mechanism. I'm using a 3D printed piece with a thin metal rod that opens and closes a loop as the motor turns. However, this is not the only way to do it, and of course, if you wanted to, a simple peg has been known to work just as well. Once you've got that set up, open Betaflight and go to the configuration tab. Turn on servo tilt, then go to the modes tab. There should be a new item called cam stab. This is usually used if you want to set up a gimbal, but because I'm not using one, you can actually link this up to another servo. Next, set the channel, e.g. auxiliary 3 in my case, and set the range for activation. Note, if cam stab has been set for full range, the servo motor will always level out or stabilize based on the NAS32 gyro. However, if you narrow the band to, for example, 1900 to 2100, the gyro will only affect the servo when the connected channel is sending a signal in that range. All while the auxiliary 3 in my case will be able to control the servo. Now what I actually do is receive the signal with an Arduino Nano first and get the Arduino to rotate the servo motor. And this just gives me better control over the release. Before all of this, however, one thing you need to do is set the servo to the right channel in Betaflight, and this is done with the command line interface. Here, if you enter resource, you get a list of resources returned, and you can see the B08 pin is the original motor 5 pin. And what you want to do is replace this with a link to the servo 1 instead. And this is done by entering resource motor 5 none, followed by resource servo 1 B08, and save. You also need to link the correct servo in the servo tab. Just note that there's an offset of 1. So for servo 1, you would actually refer to servo 0 in this tab. Now I've added a link to my Arduino file in the description, but basically you connect the power and ground of the motor 5 or servo 1 pins to the Arduino board and the signal pin to pin 9 of the Arduino. Then you connect the power and ground from the Arduino to the servo motor and pin 7 of the Arduino to the servo motor signal input. When the Arduino receives a signal greater than 1500 on the input pin 9, it will rotate the motor and release anything that was hooked to the loop. And that's pretty much it for a very simple release mechanism. There is also another thing called channel forwarding, which can be used for the release, but servo control is just a quick and easy way to get it going. So yeah, thanks for watching. I think it's out of range.